Message heavy, dope rhyme show, they not ready. Race against the time like four wheels and hands ready. Keep it steady, beat it hard and they barely give them ears and hear the truth in the light. Dope confetti, message heavy, dope rhyme show, they not ready. Race against the time like four wheels and hands ready. Keep it steady, beat it hard and they barely give them ears and hear the truth in the light. Dope confetti, just a flip of the watch, it's game time. Flip of the watch, it's game time. Vibes, just a flip of the watch, it's game time. 520, flip of the watch, it's game time. Just a flip of the watch, it's game time. 20, flip of the watch, it's game time. 5, just a flip of the watch, it's game time. 520, flip of the watch, it's game time. 520.
What's good, and welcome to another episode of the FiveTwenty Collective Podcast. It's where music meets ministry and the indie artist takes center stage. Make sure you follow us on Audiomack for all the great FiveTwenty Collective podcast material, including bonus content not found anywhere else. But for all things FiveTwenty and independent faith-based hip-hop, make sure you go to FiveTwentyCollective.com. That's where we put up all of not only our original content, but, you know, new music, videos, lots of great stuff there at FiveTwentyCollective.com. So love it if you would check that out. This episode is being sponsored by Nectar Distro. Check out FiveTwentyCollective.com/Nectar now. If you're an artist, specifically a faith-based artist, you want to know about Nectar. I know you guys know the key to getting discovered, the key to getting heard is to have your music out there, and Nectar Distribution can do that for you. And not only that, they're run by the team at Trackstars. You know, that's a amazing company there, guys, that knows how to not only move within the music space, but specifically to operate within the Christian music space. And they have connections everywhere. So if you've been thinking about, you know, maybe checking out a new option for your music distribution, check out Nectar Distro. Again, it's FiveTwentyCollective.com/Nectar. So I am Eric Boston. You can hit me up on Twitter at EricBoston3. And I'm here with my guy, Nate Shelton. What's good?
Hey, what is good? It's great to be back again. Looking forward to finishing up our conversation about the Mount Rushmore discussion.
Definitely. And for those who may have missed it, I encourage you to go back and listen, because it was a great episode all the way around to our season 3, episode 9. And that is available on FiveTwentyCollective.com and Audiomack, also along with everywhere that you listen to podcasts. And like Nate said, we had a part 1 discussion last month about who would be on the Mount Rushmore of Christian hip hop, Christian rap, whatever you want to label that. And I'm excited to see who's going to finish off the final 2 spots. We'll be getting to that shortly. But Nate, man, there's been some cool stuff happen that's kind of happened for us over the past month since the last show. I wanted to make sure that we, you know, made people aware of it, man. One cool thing, one of the online radio stations that our podcast is a part of, Throne Connection Radio, they are having their annual Mary Lou Virtual Awards, and we were lucky enough to be nominated for Radio Show of the Year. And that voting, man, is going through the middle of October. So we'll see. I know we've been getting a lot of love and support when it comes to the voting for that Radio Show of the Year. It's just, you know, it's really cool to just even be recognized, you know, for what we're trying to do here with the podcast and the platform, man. Big shout out to everyone who's taken the time to go and, you know, cast a vote for us.
Yeah, if you don't get out and vote, shame on you. Exercise your right. Vote for us. I mean, if we don't win, it's still cool to be nominated, though. So that's awesome to see stuff happening like this. You know, not even knowing where this thing was taken off in the first place. So it's just a cool bit of recognition on our end.
Right, for sure. Another first for us, Nate. We mentioned being able to listen to FiveTwenty Collective podcast on Audiomack. A first for us here at the platform and the show during this past month is we actually our last episode was selected for trending on Audiomack, which was a huge honor, that the team there at Audiomack, liked what we did and wanted to highlight that a little bit. So big shout out to Audiomack and letting us, just get in front of maybe some people that we wouldn't normally reach, with their help.
Yeah, Audiomack is quickly becoming a very strong platform for us, and it's exciting to see the stuff that's happening over there. So if you don't have Audiomack or use it very much, check it out. It's a cool app, kind of along the same lines of Apple Music or Spotify, but it seems like it is a lot better interaction for the user. So check that out.
Yeah, man, definitely. And you can check us out on there. It's audiomack.com/520-co. So we would love, of course, any follows or any of that kind of stuff, any sharing that you'd like to do. But Nate, man, before we get into this discussion, because I know we're excited, and again, just like last month, we're live on the FiveTwenty Collective Discord as we speak as well. I know we got guys tuning in. Shout out to Just James, DJ Expander, DJ J Shane, and Marcos hanging out with us right now. And I know we're all itching to finish up this Mount Rushmore convo and, finalize those last 2 remaining spots. But before we do, Nate, I want to talk about the sauce. Man, if you guys don't know, the sauce is the official playlist of FiveTwenty Collective, and Nate is the curator extraordinaire of the sauce. Nate, give us a rundown, man. Not only where can people find the sauce, but what were some of your favorite new additions to the playlist this past month?
Well, you can find the sauce on Spotify. Follow it there. I update it weekly with all the newest independent hip-hop music out there. And really lately, it's been really difficult to narrow it down just to a few 5, mentionable songs that I really are liking, because there's just so much good music out right now. But, again, the 5 songs I had for October on the sauce, you need to check out particularly. Next Move put out an EP recently. Guys are killing it over there. They have a single Ice Pack that dropped. It was their big single release off that EP. It was God. Zay Hill just released a new song, Izzy's song. Personally, I think this is one of his best songs. It really struck a chord with me, so check that one out. Another one, Anthony Ray. He released a new single, Speed. That's a great song. And round this out with Dylan Chase, Already Won. Always, it's Dylan. He puts out consistent stuff. Always, everything is good that he puts out, in my opinion. And Judo Sammy released a new single, Peel Out. So those are just a few songs that I'm really digging this month on the sauce. But again, tons of great music out there. It's getting more and more difficult to really narrow down my list, and in that matter, really to kind of decide what's worthy of being on the sauce lately.
Yeah, man, and shout out, like you mentioned, the guys and the whole team at Next Move. Not only did they release a great single with Ice Pack, they also dropped a visual for it. You can check that out at FiveTwentyCollective.com. It's in our featured visuals. You guys want to make sure you go follow the sauce. Go to FiveTwentyCollective.com. We got the link for it right there for you, and you can follow it. Real simple if you're not already. So, Nate, man, I guess it's time to jump into this, man. I guess a quick little recap. Last month we started talking about, the Mount Rushmore. Everyone's throwing out these Mount Rushmore lists for different categories, and we said, what would the Mount Rushmore of Christian rap look like? And we came up with the first 2 spots, right? The very first spot was easy. We gave it to Lecrae, right? I mean, kind of a no-brainer. No matter where the discussion goes, I think Lecrae's going to take one of those 4 spots easily. Now, that second spot, there was a lot of debate and a lot of names thrown out. But we settled on Cross Movement, which by all means more than worthy for what they do, what they've done, right? I mean, if there wasn't Cross Movement, there wouldn't be Lecrae, right?
Right, exactly.
But, you know, the final two spots, though, it was a little bit tougher and, you know, not something that we were easily coming to a conclusion on. And we said, we're going to throw it to the people. And we put up a poll on FiveTwentyCollective.com and let everyone cast their vote for some of the names. You know, we got with the guys in the chat last month and came up with a list of names who could be, you know, potentially on the Mount Rushmore. And Nate, we narrowed it down to 3 possible final nominees based on the fan votes. So we've got 3 options, 2 spots to fill. Are you excited to know who make up those 3 final nominees?
I am on the edge of my seat with anticipation, wanting to know who these 3 are.
Man, and it's, you know, I'll say this, they're all 3 have legitimate cases for being on there. And I'm going to actually go ahead and say that one of these 3 is getting an automatic bid to that one of those final 2 spots based on winning the overall fan vote. Okay. I'm going to lay that out there. I know I might be springing this on you last minute, Nate, but I think we can make that happen. You good with that?
I think we can make it.
All right. So here, I'm going to give you the 3 names first, and then I'm going to let you guess at who got that fan vote overall vote. Okay. All right. So our 3 names are Gospel Gangsters, T-Bone, and Toby Mac are our 3 finalists for the Mount Rushmore of Christian rap. And I'll tell you this, the bottom 2 were separated by 1 vote as far as the fans go, but the top vote getter kind of blew them away, if I'm just being honest. So what's your guess, Nate? Who did the fans vote in as a no doubt, yes, number 3 on Mount Rushmore of Christian rap?
Well, just because I know who I would have voted for, and most everybody kind of goes along my thought line anyway, I'm going to say it was probably Gospel Gangsters.
And if you were to say the Gospel Gangsters won the fan vote, I would tell you that, yes, you are correct. So,
of course I am.
Of course, you know, the impact that Gospel Gangsters have had on the Christian rap space is undeniable, in my opinion. And while, again, you know, we kind of hit on this last month, they may not have, if I was doing this as my personal Mount Rushmore, I don't know if they would be on there for sure. But I have no qualms with them being voted in this spot. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm definitely, like I said, it would probably been my vote, just because of, like you said, the impact they had. They took CHH, like you said, somewhere it hadn't been into the streets, like majorly in the streets, where I know for myself, I could listen to the Gospel Gangsters with friends that didn't go to church or anything, and they wouldn't bat an eye. You know, call it corny or whatever. It was that comparable to what the mainstream music was putting out. So, yeah, definitely I don't have any arguments at all with Gospel Gangsters being on there. And even more so than that is just their music still stands up, compares to stuff that's out today. So it's kind of have a ageless sound to it, I guess is how you put it. But yeah, I definitely would have put it on my Mount Rushmore.
Kudos to the people who jumped in and voted on FiveTwentyCollective.com, and great pick on making Gospel Gangsters the third selection for the Mount Rushmore of Christian rap. So again, we've now got Lecrae, we've got Cross Movement and Gospel Gangsters. but we've got one more spot to fill, Nate. And we've got 2 options here. And I think it's going to be interesting to narrow this down, man. Because you got 2 guys that, you know, they were definitely active at the same time. But they're just overall approach and sound and the way they were is kind of very different, right?
Complete opposites.
So we've got T-Bone and Toby Mac as our final 2, and one of them is going to make it on Christian rap Mount Rushmore. I'm going to let you start, Nate, and you're going to tell me which one you pick and why, and then we'll go from there.
Well, I'm going to start by saying, if this was to come down to winner take all in a MTV Celebrity Deathmatch, I'm taking T-Bone, but aside from that, I would take T-Bone anyway, just because, in a way, he was along the same veins as Gospel Gangsters, took the gospel to the streets with hip-hop. I mean, his whole MO was Demon Slayer, going around, first, if I remember correctly, he was the first Christian rapper I heard consistently talking about shooting demons, killing, using violence in a way towards the spiritual side of things. But, aside from that, his impact was really large. He had, I don't know how fast of what career it was, but he had a movie career for a short while. He's still very active, prominent in the hip-hop CHH community. He does his show, I think he has a show every Friday. I'm not sure if it's just on Instagram or if it's a radio show. I know he still does that. Again, he was very influential for a lot of artists today as well. I know him, and I know Dayton, he was influenced by him. Just a lot of different artists out there that looked up to him, that were probably in the streets, saw what he was doing, and realized it could work and be popular. So I would say for my pick, number 4 would be T-Bone.
Okay, I'm gonna give my thoughts on T-Bone. T-Bone, man, there was a 2 to 3 album run of T-Bone, with The Last Street Preacher, that era, the Hoodlum's Testimony, that time period, where T-Bone was a regular in my rotation, right? He had skill. He brought that West Coast to the space, and for someone who got into hip hop, listening to Dre and Snoop and Death Row, I connected with it, right? And he had skill, but he was a true entertainer in the sense that he had the ability to get into areas beyond music. Like you said, he broke into movies. He was doing stuff that other guys in the Christian rap space weren't doing, and honestly didn't really do for quite a while. If we're keeping it 100, Now, one other thing about T-Bone, though, I'm just going to put it out there. He walked that fine line between good and cheesy. Maybe it was just the persona, that he put out. I don't know. But, whenever you talk to some people, they drop him in that category of corny a little bit. It's dude, if you step back and just are just not biased, bring no objectivity to it and just listen to the music, I don't agree with people that want to put him in that kind of corny category. Unfortunately, that mid to late 90s, early 2000s time period, that was a legitimate battle that artists were going through, right? He had a difficult path that he had to walk, balancing that, where he could have tipped easily to one side or the other. But it is cool that he is still involved, and like you said, doing his own show and stuff. So now when we're talking about Toby Mac, I feel like he's helped solidify that foundation perhaps more than almost anybody. And I'm not going to go into everything I said last month. Go back and listen to that podcast if you want to hear all of it. But, you know, Nate, like I told you, you know, yes, does Toby Mac, just from a purely musical standpoint, earn his way onto the Christian rap Mount Rushmore? No, I'll say that. But what he did outside of just his music, I feel like squarely puts him in that conversation. You're talking about one with DC Talk. They made that connection with church parents, right? To make rap okay for their kids. And that was huge. That was huge at a time where people, you know, were not sold on hip hop, right? Where they were honestly a little scared of hip hop, right? But then I think the even bigger thing that he did was when you move over and you look at the formation of Goatee Records and what that meant and the artists he was able to put on. You know, we kind of ran down that list last month, but just to recap, you're talking John Rubin, Grits, DJ Maj. They brought on Deep Space 5 and Mars Ill, Know the Verbs, and even now you've got Aaron Cole. So he's still having an influence. I don't know. It's hard to ignore that. And then, you know, a very overlooked project that I know someone mentioned last time, and I don't think we talked too much about, was the Goatee Brothers that they did as well. Like, you want to talk about the causes, the support that today's artists have, especially when you're talking about race issues. Dude, Toby and Joey were doing that with Goatee Brothers 20 years ago. And I mean, I don't know, dude. To me, as much as I liked T-Bone, especially at a time, I find it hard, man, to leave Toby off of Mount Rushmore. So I'm gonna throw it back to you, Nate. Did anything change that convince you at all, or do we need to go to the Discord chat to help decide this last spot?
Well, I'm a stubborn man, and I'm going to stick with my pick, T-Bone.
Okay.
We had some very compelling arguments, but I don't like to be easily swayed, and don't like to be.
But that's what we do in
pressured.
America, Nate. We get easily swayed,
right?
So
you can cancel me; it's okay. But I'm going to stick with T-Bone.
Okay, so Nate's got T-Bone, I got Toby Mac, so that means we're going to the audience here on Discord. We got Just James, DJ Expander, DJ J Shane, and Marcos. Fellas, I need you to put a name in the chat. It needs to be T-Bone or Toby Mac. I need the four of you. We can still end in a tie. I don't know what we'll do. All right, so J Shane says Toby Mac. Spander went with Toby Mac. Marcos, okay, we got it. We got 3 votes for Toby.
I mean, you got it.
3 votes for Toby.
I guess you, in your influential speaking classes, passed that class. So,
well,
congratulations to you.
Honestly, dude, like, if I sit here and try to think about what Christian rap would look like today without Toby Mac, without DC Talk, without Goatee Records, dude, I really have no clue what it looks like. That platform that's centered around Toby Mac opened a lot of doors that maybe still be trying to get opened at this point. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's just honestly where it is. It's interesting. There's definitely, like, if you went back and you yanked Toby Mac out of existence, I don't even call it a ripple effect, man. Like, it's like waves that's generating.
Yeah, there'd be a hole. You wouldn't have Goatee Records, obviously. So,
all right, man. So there it is. We have created our Christian rap Mount Rushmore again. It features Lecrae, Cross Movement, Gospel Gangsters, and Toby Mac. So, but man, Nate, it is time that we're gonna get to our featured song this month. Make sure y'all stay tuned after the featured song for our industry insider interview in the second segment. That's after the music break. This month we are joined by Andre Mullen from UGM Digital, talking about record pools and what that can do for artists and especially the Christian hip hop space. So it was a good interview with Andre Mullen. So make sure you stick around for that. But Nate, we've got, music from a recently released project that, I didn't know a lot about this guy, before I checked it out. I hadn't heard much of his music, but whenever I started listening to the project, I was like, wow, man, this is really good. So we are going to hear the song Man Down by Legacy off of the album Leap of Faith. Have you had the chance to check that project out?
Yes, it's on my list of potential projects of the year. It was fantastic. Again, same boat you were. Hadn't really heard much of Legacy. I knew he had released a single with Crumb. It was really good. So I gave the album a listen, and it was very solid from beginning to end. So, little teaser there for our year-end announcements with projects and artists. That one did make my potential list.
Okay, yeah. Speaking of that, we will be diving into that more next month. So make sure you tune in November as we get ready to talk about our year-end awards. There's some exciting changes that are taking place with those, and we're going to dive into that next month. But definitely for now, well, Nate, before I throw it to the song, is there any last thing you need to say before we get out of here?
Not a whole lot, but you can always follow me at Twitter. I am _Nate Dog. Keep up with my CHH, what I'm talking about there. Fortunately, you will be spared the baseball rhetoric. My season is over. The Yankees have let me down once again. So, putting more focus on my music, what's going on with the music. So, follow me there at Twitter.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And again, guys, make sure you stick around for our interview with Andre Mullen from UGM Digital. But now let's check out the song Man Down. It's from the album Leap of Faith by Legacy.
Listen. With the raps, I'm going Ananobi. Tell my baby I'll be back soon. 21, I got it locked and loaded for the holy city. Yeah, I got the key. Chuku sent me on a mission. I'll be handing out the vision. Tell my dogs I go AWOL if they play their part in position. Someone call him mortician. There's a body in aisle 3. I went bar for bar till he dropped dead. Now they calling me for conviction. And a nice sense of fear. Tell me why you gotta lie. Are you really tryna die? Are you really tryna die? Hey, giving a shot of the Holy Spirit only gets your body swimming in the Pacific. I'm getting to it like I'm being specific. You cannot touch me, but my spirit is dripping with influence. Baby mama say she into it, and the body got a ring to it. I'm just saying she not playing. Don't reach close, we just spraying. Got a big gun that's so fluid and a shotgun that's E-racing. No speed race, it could replace us. Tell a corny rapper I'm cinematic. He should backtrack, it's automatic, never diplomatic. Got the kingdom tatted on my right arm. I raise harm when I deadlift.
Hey yo, Legacy. I don't think these mans really know what you're on right now, eh? Yo, true say the lucky you're a Christian rapper, bro, cause you could have done them off from time, man. Yo, bare mans will get done off.
Easy. Edna is who I reverence. Tell your idols I'm a reverend. You a pupil, I'm a servant on the pulpit. That's observing plenty scriptures written by the King of Kings. You're crossing, see what pain it brings. You got it, not deliver you when mine is knocking at your door. He'll endorse the dolphins in your body till the pain becomes sensation. Well increase with modulation. Homie, this is masterful. We blasting at you masterfuls. You masterfuls can blast at us. We'll blast you till you destitute. Our institute is way above the constellations. I am not a star. I'm a rapper with the penmanship to take a shift on Mars. Clocking in and clocking out. My Call of Duty's duty free. I'm bound by oath to pay the fee of servitude unto the king. Crushed within me's what I bring to fate compared to mustard seeds. Shaking mountains at his feet. My speech induces killing sprees. Raise the casualty for every devil playing hide and seek. Creeping to the layer of the circle. Stump him till he breathes. Wait and see.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Eric with FiveTwenty Collective and the FiveTwenty Collective podcast. I want to talk to you about Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way possible to make a podcast. Let me break it down for you. 1, it's free. That's right, no cost to use Anchor. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you. So if you want to get on platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and many, many more, then it's really, really easy, guys. You just set up an Anchor account at anchor.fm. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Again, make money, no minimum listeners. You're not going to find that anywhere else. It's everything you need to make a podcast, and it's all in one place. So go right now and download the free Anchor app, or go to anchor.fm to get started. And make sure you let them know you heard it on FiveTwenty Collective Podcast. Welcome to this month's Industry Insider interview, brought to you officially by Bookkeeper247.com. What's good, and welcome to another Industry Insider interview here on the FiveTwenty Collective Podcast. As always, we are being sponsored by the Bookkeeper 24/7. Make sure you check them out at tbk247.com now, where you can get tons of Christian hip-hop information, whether it's music, what's happening in the scene, interviews, podcasts. They got a little bit everything at the Bookkeeper 24/7. They are looking to be a voice in this culture. So make sure you guys go out and support them. It's the Bookkeeper 24/7. Again, it's tbk247.com now. And joining me right now on the Trackstars Podcasting Network phone line, he is the head dog over at UGM Digital. You may have read about him right on FiveTwentyCollective.com. We did an article not too long ago about what they have going at UGM, and I'm excited to just talk about what's popping over there. Right now on the phone line with me, it is Andre Mullen. How you doing, sir?
Hey, sir. How are you?
Man, we are good, man. We were talking before we actually got rolling. You and I connected a while back, kind of like I think when we started, not long after we started FiveTwenty anyway. So we've kind of been familiar with each other, and then obviously, our guy Prophet Link was like, man, you need to just talk with Andre, man, and see what's going on. So all that to say, here we are, man. It's good to have you on the show.
Yeah, man, I'm excited too, man. I've seen the evolution of your platform, and I love some of the great things you guys are doing, and I'm sure there's some really great and cool things you guys have in store. So, just continue to do what y'all do, man. Just happy to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So for people who maybe do not know, I want to dive in just to a little bit of your history, your background, because you've been connected with the Christian rap space for a while. So just give us a brief rundown. Like, how did you get into doing things in this space, and what kind of ventures have you undertaken?
Wow. I've been in this space for a very, very, very a long time. I've just been generally in the music industry. Next year will be 30 years.
Wow.
Next year will be 30 years. And but within this space, this genre, this niche that we call Christian hip hop, of those 30 years, it's probably been about 15, 20. I've been around for, it's actually a little more than, it's like 25. But I've been around since the dawn of cross movement, to the passing of the mantle to Lecrae and the formation of Reach Records. I've seen artists go, I've seen artists come. It's been a very, very, very interesting journey within this space to see how things have moved and have grown, and how some artists have kind of faded to black, or just retreaded and just wanted to be more focused on the business side. So it's been a great run, and I believe the best is yet to come. So
Yeah, man, you've done a lot of really interesting things. I know, let's see, you were doing some management, at least at one point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like with
I
artists?
still do management. I still do manage.
I know this is maybe a little unexpected, but since we're talking about it, I want to throw it out there because, one thing that we are about is just feeding info to independent artists that can help them grow. And one thing I'd really love to hear your thoughts on that we see a lot of is, like, when should an independent artist consider looking at getting a manager? Like what is your just view on that?
So management now is very different from management even 5, even 10 years ago. I actually really tell artists that a manager, you need a manager. You really need a manager when you can no longer manage your affairs. I tell artists, though, good managers find artists. Artists typically, a lot of times, they find managers that are either inexperienced, or they're just overall bad, and they're ignorant of a lot of music practices. Artists can be effective independently with just a team. You just need a team. Typically, artists that need managers are those that are signed to labels. You need a go-between person. You do.
Are there times where you tell people you're making a mistake getting a manager right now? And obviously, it sounds like, yes, there is those times.
Our other company, which is really our sister company, UGM Digital is in Access. And what we've been doing is moving away from management for artists and really giving artists access to a team. So we do, on an Access side, we cover label services, music publishing administration, and management. But that management is more of an admin role, because there's a lot of artists that are out here that are really, really talented. Problem is that they really don't know the business as much as they should. But they shouldn't, even though that's quote unquote bad, they shouldn't have to fall flat on their face in order to learn the business. And that's where we come in, like. And so what we're presenting now, even within Access, is kind of a resurgence of the brand, is the ability for artists who are putting out music on DSPs, digital service platforms, for them to really understand that, hey, look, there's money to be made, not just from the DSP. There's money to be made from your publishing. There's money to be made from licensing. And that's what we want to do. As I tell artists, we want to level the playing field, for them. We really want to see them win. And that's what we're here for, man. That's what I'm here for.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And again, guys, joining me on the Track Stars Podcasting Network phone line from UGM Digital and in Access, it is Andre Mullen. And I want to hit on UGM, man, because I think you guys are doing some really cool stuff there. And I'm not sure that everyone, really understands what it's about or what you guys have cooking. Hopefully they've read the article, man, and they got a little bit of an idea.
I hope so too.
For sure. But I want them to hear it from you, man. So, UGM Digital, you guys say it's more than a record pool. So just talk about it from the start, man. Like, how did UGM Digital come to be, and what was the intention behind it?
We acquired UGM Digital publicly at the top of 2020. However, the year before that, throughout that year, the previous owner of the brand was reaching out to me and talking to me and like, trying to really get me to believe in the brand. And I have to admit, I didn't. I was actually in management at the time. I was managing a few artists, and the person that was running the brand was like, "Hey, could you get your artists to really, embrace this?" And I'm like, I just don't see the value, And as a manager managing artists, that's the thing that you look for too. You look for the right fit for the artist, for your client. You're looking for the right fit. And I didn't feel that UGM Digital was the right fit at the time. So I looked at the website, and of course, I'm really scrutinizing it and but I understood the concept. I got the concept. And that's the thing about what I think good marketers, good brand developers do, is that they're able to quickly see the concept and how to exploit it. UGM Digital was our quarantine baby. That's the best way to put it. That it was our quarantine baby, and we worked it, we built it, we literally, it was blood, sweat, and tears, man. It really was. And money. It was money. There was that, so everybody out there, if you're thinking that you could just put stuff together with no money, no, that's not how it works. We are well over 2,000 songs in the pool. There are 12 different genres. There are 8 different playlists. There are 6 different curated playlists. There's mood playlists. The site is definitely, we have some great relationships with labels, Reach Records, Good City Music, Elected Recordings. We're one of the only DJ record pools that has full service packs or DJ packs, where we have the instrumental acapella and full version of a song. All our songs are ID3 tagged, complete with metadata. And we don't just consider ourselves, and this is why UGM Digital, UGM standing for Unlocking Good Music. That's what it stands for. Why we're more than a record pool, because what has happened with us is that we're not just looking for records that are 100 BPM over and over. We are a curator of music. So consider us like a digital record store.
And then for people who maybe aren't familiar with just your traditional DJ record pool, I mean, this is a place where DJs can sign up and they can go and get music, right? I mean, for people who are thinking that, DJs are just going to iTunes or whatever and buy music. No, that's not exactly how it works. It doesn't work like that. And see, here's the thing. When we did our due diligence with asking DJs about how they got their music. And DJs was honest with us. They told us they were getting their records from one or two ways. Either they were going the legit route and getting downloads from Amazon or iTunes, or they were going to YouTube and ripping music. And because what was happening is that artists weren't giving them music. See, in the traditional DJ pools, the way they work, labels would send DJ pools records. Oftentimes, before their records were even released, they would send them for marketing promotional purposes, to get a buzz around a record. But with the onset of digital, a lot of and now download
is the type of thing where that's coveted. That's like, hey, look, I'd rather have somebody download my music and then I'll get, my little, money from it. So DJs weren't getting that, and labels were not sending DJ pools records anymore because the music industry, as far as the revenue from music sales was becoming more fragmented. So yeah, there really wasn't a real destination for DJs to say, hey, I'm gonna get my music from here. So what we did is, and what we really even believe to this day, DJs still break records. We believe that. We believe that DJs still break records. Are we saying that Spotify doesn't break records? No, we're not. We know that each of these platforms have a role to play in the breaking of records, just as we know DJs have a role to play in breaking records. And so that's what it is that we stand by. Is that, hey, look, get your records to our DJs or get your records to us, and we can get it to DJs that are looking for a destination place where they can get access to it, and they have access to it.
So let's talk about the artist side of it, because obviously, you hit on the brands that you work with, a little bit there. You talk about Reach Records, Good City, that they're, getting their music to you guys, right? But you also have this like stable of DJs just waiting for artist music to become available through your platform, and you don't have to be a Reach Records artist to get your music there, right?
No, we do not.
So talk about it from the artist perspective. Like how do you utilize UGM Digital as a tool, and what's the benefits that it does for artists?
When we first was going through this and figuring this stuff out, if you look at other DJ record pools, typically artists, in order for artists to submit their music, they have to pay. And that was one of the things that was first presented to me, like, yo, how about, artists should pay? And I was like, no, we're not having artists pay. And my thought process about it was very clear and very simple. Let's say you are a DJ and you hit us up and you say, hey, yo, do you guys have this song by this artist? And I'm like, nah, we don't have it in the pool, but we're going to try to get it. Now, here I go. If an artist had to pay to submit, here I go. I reach out to that artist and I say, hey, look, would love to have your music in the pool. You should definitely consider putting it in the pool. And they're like, oh man, wow, that's great. Yeah, I put it in. Okay, it costs X amount of dollars. So now that artist says, oh man, like, I can't just give it to y'all. I just can't put it in the pool. Nah, man, it's going to cost this because we're going to get the exposure to the DJs. So the artist turns around and says, nah, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. So now 3 people are at a loss. The artist, the DJ is at a loss because he's not able to get the music that he wanted so that he could play at his next party, that he could play on tour, that he could put in his radio playlist. The artist loses because they don't get the exposure, and the pool loses because we don't get a DJ subscriber. So it's a loss all around. So I said, nah, we're not going to have artists pay to have their music submitted. We're going to give artists an opportunity to submit their music. We A&R that process though. The diversity of our record pool is amazing. So we get so much. We're building up our Latin side, a Latin genre of music. Of course we have a huge amount of Christian hip hop, but we also have genres that people are not really familiar with. Moombahton, which is a fusion of reggae music, reggaeton, and EDM. So we're steadily building that. It's just we are becoming the definitive source for music curation of clean, positive, and faith-based music.
I know I asked it about In Access, but I'm going to ask you again on UGM. So I'm an artist. I'm listening to what you're saying. I like it. I want to get involved. I want to make sure you've got my music. What's that look like? What do I need to do?
Simple. You can go to ugm.digital. And we have a tab there for artists. That tab will take you to all of our services for artists, including submitting your music. We have a strict submission process. Everything that we get hundreds of submissions a week. We do not take hundreds of submissions. I can tell you quite honestly, of the hundreds of submissions a week we get, we probably take a third of them, you know? We take pride in that we unlock good music. So we got a reputation to keep out here. So we want DJs to get good music from us. We don't want DJs to get so music from us. We don't want DJs to get so right music from us. We want DJs to get good music from us. So we go through a process of making sure that we have good music to deliver.
That's what's up. So make sure you guys go to the site again. It is ugm.digital and just see where it can go, man. It's not going to hurt you. I can promise you that. So I tell people, I say, listen, shoot your shot. Exactly.
That's what you need to do. Shoot your shot.
Yeah, man. And you guys are actually shooting your shot a little bit. Something that's cool that's happening over on Clubhouse that you guys have been doing is UGM Digital's hosting a show called BPM and Key right there on Clubhouse. Talk to us a little bit about the show, man. Like, what's going on with it?
So it's funny because BPM and Key. So shout out to my co-founder, man, Drea Mencolini. She's like the other pair of hands of mine, and she also is the one too that kind of kicks me in the butt and like, hey, look, yo, we should try this. Like she's like that, and so what happened, right, is I had been deliberating how to really go about doing this, being involved in Clubhouse, and it just didn't work. Like I was so unmotivated. I guess that's the better word. And so, I was always kind of like trying to figure out, maybe we'll try something there. Maybe we'll try something there. And then I got to a point where kind of what fell in line, and I have to, and also too, shout out to you, man. Shout out to you and FiveTwenty Collective, Eric, because y'all put the battery in my back too. Because when you guys wrote that article, it was that same week that I was like, you know what? I need more people to know about UGM Digital. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do this press conference, so to speak, on Clubhouse. And, kind of get the things rolling, like that. That idea morphed into me reaching out to a good friend of mine who, of course, I gotta give a shout out to Mr. Derek Huggins of the Indie Artist Help Desk. And I call him the HBIC, the head brother in charge, on Wednesday night. And his club, the Indie Artist Help Desk, is now closing in. Within the first 3 months, he was at 650 members on Clubhouse. And I talked to him about UGM Digital. He loved the idea, concept, and then we came to this place where I said, you know what? I would love to do a room in your club. on one of the other off nights. And we turned around, we worked it out, and we created a clubhouse room called BPM and Key. And the significance of BPM and Key in the DJ space, and just in the music space in general, is that when the BPM, which is in every essence of the word, the tempo, the speed of a record, and the key are in sync, it makes for a great sonic experience, right? So I looked at it as the pieces that most artists, DJs, and producers deal with. They deal with the creative side, right? And they deal with the business side. So if both of those are in sync, then what happens is people can better accept, receive, and see the best experience of music, the best experience of a mix, the best experience of a production. So that's why it's called BPM and Key, because our goal is to help indie creatives find success or be successful by merging their creativity and business. So that room happens every second Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard on Clubhouse. Man, listen, if there's any artists that are really even just creatives that are really wanting to broaden their scope, really understand why they do what they do, yeah, you need to come to that room, because I'm just bringing everybody I know, as far as people to talk to, people that can just continue to pour out. Bottom line is, I just want to see everybody win. I want to see everybody win.
Man, Andre, I am glad that you were able to take some time and hop on to the podcast with us. It's really cool seeing what's happening with UGM Digital, man. And you guys are, I mean, even since we wrote the article, you guys have, expanded and grown. And so I know there's more stuff that's coming, man. So I'm excited to see what God is able to put just like in your vision and turn that into reality. Because I know it's going to be cool stuff that's going to help not just DJs, right? Not just artists, but it's going to help the culture as well. And it's going to help push what is going on in our space out to a wider audience. So, man, that's awesome. Thank you for doing that. 100%.
Man, thank you, man. But thank you for platforms like yourself too, man. I gotta give it up, man, because there are ultimately what there isn't is there aren't enough platforms for us to really showcase and demonstrate faith-based music, period. And that's why we're here, man. That's why we do what we do. And the more there's enough room out here. There's enough room out here. There's so much room out here. And that's, as long as we all find our voice and our lane, then you see how we work together. So, we just, man, like I tell people all the time, I'm just working, man. I'm just working. As I always say too, we're hashtag all gas, no brakes. So that's where we at.
There you are. And where do people follow you, man, and get the latest on what you got going?
Well, as always, our brand UGM Digital is across all socials as that UGM Digital. You can also follow me on socials, Dre Boogie, DREBOOGE. And of course, be on the lookout for an access, because we got a heavy fourth quarter coming, and we're releasing some music from people y'all know and love. So, and some you don't know. But definitely, in access is INAXXSGRP. Make sure you follow us and stay connected.
100%. Andre, it's been great talking to you, man. I'll be looking forward to getting you back on, man, as stuff continues to grow and find out, the latest. So don't be a stranger.
For sure.
So don't be a stranger.
I won't be, sir. I won't be. Make sure you won't be either.
We'll be here. We'll be here. Guys, again, go check it out. The website is ugm.digital. And support what's going on. If you're an artist, get your music sent in. And, you don't know. It could be exactly what you're looking for to take that next step. So go and take advantage of it. Again, we want to shout out all of our episode sponsors, including the Bookkeeper 24/7. Check them out at tbk247.com. And we will check you guys out on the next podcast.